Hey guys, it's me again, Phoebe, and today we're talking about The Wrath in the Dawn by Rene, Ahdieh. I think that's how you pronounce it. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. So I started this book a while ago, and it took me longer than normal to read it. Not because I didn't like it. I love this book. This book is amazing. But at first I preferred Shahrazad's chapters to Tariq's, because Tariq's didn't have a lot of going on. It was just building it up, but you know, that's like, so I'd stop reading at his chapters and then be like, oh, I'll have a break, and then I'd come back to it and get into it more. But I got over that quickly because it gets intense and awesome and and then I had gotten, I think I was about 150 pages from finishing, and I was like, okay, can't read anymore, because if I had picked it up, I would have read it all in one go, and I didn't have the second book yet. So when I realised that I was so close to finishing, and because it's at the end, it's so intense, so much is happening, that it's that point where you're like, oh my god, you're reading it so fast, but you don't want to, because you don't want it to be over. And so that's what was happening to me. So I was like, oh, okay. So I went online and I bought the second book, and because I was visiting family when I had bought the book, and I was like, by the time I get home, I'll have finished The Wrath in the Dawn, and then the second book, The Rose and the Dagger, will have arrived, and I can just jump straight in and it'll be great and it'll be amazing. And I got home yesterday and I was like, oh my god, is it here? Is it here? And it wasn't here. And I'd finished the book and I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to pause now. And so I started reading another book. I didn't even read that much. I read the prologue because I was so exhausted last night. I was like, I'll just read a little bit. And because the email I had gotten, it said that it wasn't going to show up until like the 31st of May, and I was like, that's like a week and a half away. I can't not read for that long. So I was like, I'll start another book in the meantime, and then my mum woke me up this morning and was like, oh, you got a parcel, I wonder what it is. And it was The Rose and the Dagger. Oh, the second book. When I was looking to buy this, I was like, because they had a lot of hardcovers, and hardcovers are great, but I really like the paper book edition of this. It has a weird, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a slightly weird texture for the cover, and it feels like, it looks like a normal book, but it feels like it's a bit wider than usual books. So when I was reading it, it was like open like that, and I was really comfortable, and it felt really natural to read, and that's what I loved. I'm like, I really want the same feel and all of that with the second book, but I couldn't find it, and I was like, oh, okay, so I'll get the hardcover. The hardcover's great. This is it. It has arrived, and so yes, that's it. And then as you got for the inside of the other one, how it's like that, and then you open up and there she is. Amazing. You've got that for the second book as well. You get that, and then there she is too, looking amazing again. And so that's really nice. And I don't tend to like dust covers. They really annoy me, and I tend to take them off because they just annoy me, because you're reading the book and it's open like that, and you just, yeah, anyway. So I usually take them off, but this is really nice. But under, it's just, as you can see, just red, but then this is really nice, and it's, here you go, oops, in the nice gold that is, and it's very beautiful. But I'm going to keep the dust jacket on this, because I'll probably end up buying, I don't know, probably a paperback edition of that and a hardcover of the first one later on, because I like both of them. They're great. Anyway, so this arrived. I haven't actually started reading it yet. As I said, I was exhausted, so after I opened it, I was like, oh my god, and I was like excited for a bit, and then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up and I had a few things to do, and then I was like, the light's out, good for my window, so I get good light for this video, so that's what I did. Anyway, back back to the Wrath and the Dawn. While reading this book, because it's the mystery of why Khalid is killing the brides that he takes every night at dawn. The bride that he takes that night, he kills the next dawn, and it's like, oh my god, why, and all this, and it's one of those books where you're just guessing it all, and I guess a little bit of it, not as much. I was surprised. It was good. The reasoning is not necessarily a good reason, but it's well done in the plot. Hopefully you understand that and get what I'm trying to say. But yes, characters, Shahrazad. The names in this book, I love. At first, I was like, oh, how do you pronounce that? How is that? So I googled them. Shahrazad. An amazing character. She's strong, she's determined, she's very smart. She's very stubborn, she's very independent. She's someone that I wouldn't want to mess with. It's a great character. She's very manipulative in her words, so she can still be honest with what she says, but it's hard to explain. If you read it, you understand what I'm trying to say, and if you haven't, read it and then you'll understand what I'm saying. But she tries to be honest, but if it's something she doesn't want you to know, she'll twist the way she says it, so she's still telling the truth, yet she's not giving you the answer that you really want, which I like. She's not changing her mind for anyone. If she changes her mind, it's on her. It's a decision that she's made for herself. Khalid, the king. I love his character. He's one of those characters that they're tortured and they're brooding, like every tortured and brooding character ever in young adult books, and you tend to love them. But at the same time, he was different. Usually the brooding, tortured guys are reckless, whereas Khalid was very in control of everything that was happening, and I like that aspect of it. I was like, oh, he's in control, and he's not just doing all this, and there's reasons for it, and when you get to the reason, he's like, oh my god, and it's great. Tariq. I liked him, not as much as the other characters, but I found him a bit selfish in his love for Shahrazad. And the love I felt is love out of habit. It's a habit that they've loved each other for so long. Falling in love in a small town. You fall in love, but then once you explore the rest of the world, you see all these things that change who you are and make you the person that you are, and then your aspect of love changes, and I think that's what happens for Shahrazad. And she's experienced and she understands more. Before, when she was just angry at Khalid, she didn't understand. She was ignorant to the reasonings, and because she understands now, it doesn't make her less angry. She's still angry about everything that happens, but she understands and she's still able to love him, and I love that. I think that's the more of the true love. And again, Tariq, he didn't understand that. He didn't understand how she could just change and love the man that killed her best friend. And I get it. It's a hard thing to try and wrap your head around, but he could see that she loved Khalid, but he wouldn't take no for an answer. Something had to be done to her for her to be able to love Khalid. Like, her reasoning for loving him was not valid, and that sucks. And it's very selfish, and he just wants to get her out of there, to save her, but she doesn't want to be saved. She's found a home, she's found a love, and she likes it there. She has friends, she has her handmaiden, she's got Jalal. She has these friends or these people that she likes and loves, and of course she's gonna miss her family and miss everything else, but it's something that's, whoops, it's something that's her. And so yeah, I found his character very selfish. So the handmaiden Despina, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not quite sure, so if I said it wrong, I'm sorry. I loved her, she's a great character. I found that she was a lot like Shahrazad, and that she's strong, she's stubborn, she's intelligent, she's all of these things, and because of that sometimes they clash, but I feel like they're really good together and I like them as friends. I think it's just really great. Jalal, again, pronunciation, sorry. He's very funny, he's cheeky, he's a good friend, and he's loyal, which is good. And yeah, he's good. Shahrazad's dad, there's not a lot of him in the book. There's a bit at the beginning and then more at the end. At the beginning, I don't know, I didn't feel a lot towards him. He seemed, because Shahrazad's so strong and independent, he didn't have a say or anything in her actions to volunteer to be Khalid's next wife, and clearly that would hurt. But and at the end of the book you see how what he does, because because he couldn't stop her before, and he's ignorant to how she feels now. And so at the end I was like, no, what are you doing? You can't do that, you don't understand. And so yeah, overall The Wrath and the Dawn is a fabulous, fantastic book. It is beautifully written, and beautifully written books are just amazing. What else? Definitely read it. Definitely buy the second book. Not if you don't buy it at the same time, buy it while you're still reading this book. You don't want to have to wait. The Wrath and the Dawn is my 25th read of this year. My Goodreads challenge is 75 books by the end of the year. So I'm a third of the way through. I'm a bit slow at the moment, but that's okay. Hopefully I'll get there. So exciting 25th book. Moving on to the 26th as soon as I finish this video and edit a bit. So very excited. Amazing book. Must buy. Better be a bloody amazing book. It will be an amazing book. Very excited. So if you want to escape to another world, this is definitely a great book to do that with. Hopefully you enjoy reading it as much as I did. Good reading to you all. Subscribe and I'll see you next time. Bye.